Well, good afternoon and welcome to Collegians Sporting Complex for this much anticipated clash between the home side, the Collegians Collie Dogs, and the Western Suburbs Red Devils. I'm Johnny Pett calling all the action for Bar TV Sports as we see Collegians out onto the field first in this blockbuster clash. It's a great day down here in Wollongong. Sun's out, not much wind around, so a big fast game of football is expected here today. In earlier games, the Western Suburbs Red Devils victorious over Collegians in reserve grade. They'll be looking to make it 2 for the day. Collegians looking to bounce back here and get their first win for the home side today. The Collegians boys look like they're going to run right to left on the screen. They'll kick off to Western Suburbs. As we'll just run through the team sheets, Collegians at fullback is Paul Roberts. On the wings, Josh Constable and Gavin Duffy. The centres, Saxonona and Brad Manton. The halves, Jared Boyle and Braden Hooper. Jake Wood, Josh Dowell. The front row, Joel Holdsworth wearing the number 9. The back row, Jack Cross, Blake Phillips, Jared Thompson. And the bench for Collegians is Brody Rigg, Zach Hicks, Matthew Tilley, Dwayne Williamson. And for the Western Suburbs, Red Devils, at fullback is Zach Green. The wingers, Lachlan Hurst and Michael Appleby. The centres, Colby Pello and Mitch Porter. In the halves, Reece Hanbury and Justin Rodriguez. The front row, Zach Blay and Dylan Laurie. Number 9, Jackson Walsh. The back row of Marty Cramp, Joseph Dixon. Number 13, Wade Stanford. And on the bench, Bailey Antrobus, John Martin, Eden Hannington, Daniel Zohar. So both sides are absolute wealth of experience. And Mitch Jennings, good to see you today, mate.
Geez, I made it here in the end, mate. I had to make the mad dash. I'm up at Stanwell Park now, mate. I'm up your way, so bit of a dash in. I had some, the news never stops at the Illawarra Mercury, mate. I had some things to write, some breaking news that came through that kept me away, but good to be here, mate. Fashionably late, I'll call it.
You're puffing.
Yeah, I am, mate. Just getting up those steps, I'll tell you. I didn't do a lot of exercise in those 5 weeks in Europe. I'm battling now.
The right arm looks exercised, but
mate, my back's a little bit sore getting up those stairs, probably from carrying you for 3 weeks of Taste of Steel.
How good's the atmosphere here today, Mitch?
I can't help it. I was on the Twitter machine. You know I'm not a prolific tweeter, but I put it out there this morning. I've rarely been this excited for a regular season game. You've just got the feel of, as I said, we're 3 rounds in. These two teams absolutely stacked, and they're coming in some decent form. And you just got the feeling it's that first genuine big blockbuster of the season.
It sure is. And look, we got one of the Western Suburbs players, Zach Green, back from that Ron Massey Cup. He's had a stint up there with Mounties today. So the grand final winning 5-8 from last year, back with the Western Suburbs Red Devil, and he's wearing the number 1 today.
Well, there you go. Well, there's a scoop. He's back. They've got a knack of that, don't they? These Devils. It's once a Devil, always a Devil. A lot of them fly further afield, and they always end up back here. There he is, as you see, he runs out in the number 1.
Geez, he looks fit, doesn't he?
Yeah, do we know what's happened to Tony Pello, mate? Have you been on the thing?
No, I haven't been able to get a scoop there. I found out also that no Alec Reid today for Collegians, out injured. So Paulie Roberts to fullback. So let's just see.
Pretty
how
handy replacement to put it there, mate. I'll tell you. Tony Pello, no, well, there you go. It's not like it's my job to know these things.
I'm just a coal miner.
Just being the sports journo, mate. Yeah, it's that one slipped through the net a little bit. But we will hopefully find out what's going on there.
And this man we keep talking about week after week, Jared Boyle, about to get us underway.
He will get us underway. It's all in readiness, isn't it? The Devils there. I don't know if it's a bit of gamesmanship. They left Collies out there, hanging out there for a little while, didn't they? Thank God they did. It gave me a chance to get up the steps. But it is the Devils coming away from their own line now. This is Laurie with the footy, bashing his way up towards the 20. Still going, Laurie. Is that your man, Johnny Martin, at dummy half?
No, I think he's coming off the bench, Johnny Martin. That looks like Walsh in at number 9.
Oh, there you go, Walsh now to Mitch Porter off his right foot. He'll play just over the 35. Stanford at first receiver. He's got Blay in support, but he'll take it up over the 40. Hicks at dummy half. Flat ball there for Blay. Zach Blay, he'll be excited about getting the start today. Hannington actually rather a dummy half. Looking at the wrong side of the team sheet there. I'm on fire today. already. Rodriguez puts this one high, an early test for Roberts, and he takes it well. And they're all in front of the kicker there, says our referee, Tyron Jordan. Big game for the referee, isn't it, too, when you get the call up to a game like this one?
Well, it's like a semi-final, isn't it? You know these two teams are going to be there towards semi-final time. It is just an early taster of what we're going to see down at the point end of this competition.
And no, they'll come back. I think he's lucky he made them wait there, because that pass was a mile forward to Jack Cross. Lucky they've called him back. He'll have a do-over. Cross, some good line speed early on there from the Devils. Holdsworth at dummy half. Dowell edging his way forward, finds his front two. Quick play the ball from the front row. That's what they want. Holdsworth sensing an opportunity already, probing out a dummy half. He'll be looking to do that for most of the afternoon. Thompson now, the old head in this one, premiership winning skipper. He'll play it just over the Devils 30, and there's another penalty. So some back-to-back ones. That's a pet peeve of Devils coach Pete McLeod. He won't be happy with his discipline early on as Boyle throws that one across the face of Phillips. Saxonona cramming his way back in field. 20 metres out, just to the left of the post. Dowell now. He's up towards the 10. Holdsworth, second man for Hooper. Honour over on that side. A couple of touches in this set for him. Holdsworth again at dummy half. That's Wood taking up forward. He's dead in front of the post, 8 metres out. Boyle at first receiver. And I think they just overran him there on the outside, and good work there from the 12, Joseph Dixon, all over him there. You'll want to be doing that for most of the afternoon. Holdsworth had picked up there by Green. I'm not sure if he's your typical number one, Green, but they've thrown him in there and he made light work of that one. But some good early signs there for Pete McLeod defensively on that side. Joseph Dixon all up in Jarrod Boyle's grill right there.
Yeah, great work there from the Western Suburbs Red Devils. Back-to-back penalties and sets there for Collegians. They marched their way down the paddock, but the Devils' defence stood up to the task. And Zach Green looking all right there at number one to start off the day.
There he goes. That was his first one as we see Stanford. We're 4 minutes in, so one down, plenty to go, you'd think, for the fullback there with your kicking game. This Collegians outfit does possess across the park. Hannington at dummy half again. Second man for Rodriguez in behind the line. He's going to put a clearing kick down. Roberts coming forward to take that one and slides it back to his feet. He's going to be great to watch in the one, isn't he? I love watching Paulie Roberts. There's always something happening around him, and you've got to think, being in and around the footy at number one, he's going to make a few things happen today.
Well, I reckon we're going to hear him from here yelling, because he's a very vocal player on the ground. So he will just direct the orders there from fullback with his defensive line in front of him. I'm sure he's going to be super chirpy when he's got the ball in hand.
Dowell now, another carry, heavily involved early on. Plenty of wraps on Josh Dowell out of the Steelers system as Thompson onto Hooper. Some crisp pass there, and he just got overrun again there by Phillips on that side. Phillips twice now, he's sort of been a little bit out of position on that side. He's interesting to see him. The last couple of years, he spent a lot of time in the middle just getting the ball straight off the deck. He's back on an edge out there. It's, of course, he's very adept out there as well. Seen him carve up some country rugby league championship finals there on the edge, but not quite getting the balls he wants on that side early on. As the Devils now up over halfway, and the arm goes up the other way now. First penalty of the afternoon for the Devils. So see Jordan just exerting some control on this one early on. You don't mind seeing that. These two teams, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So good to keep it as tidy as can be from the start.
Look at Jarrod Ball just having a discussion there to Tyrone Jordan there. So a very experienced head there, Jarrod Ball, just questioning the referee's decision. And
yeah, the eardrums will cop a beating out there. Hannington, flat ball now for Dixon. Flat again onto Porter and put him under pressure. That ball now, Manton on the counter-attack. Up towards the 30. Colley's turning defence into attack. Now away from dummy half is Duffy. Holdsworth out from dummy half. Just short of halfway. Boyle will go into dummy half. Flat ball on the blind side there for Cross. Took a deflection there off Porter. That should be 6 to go. Referee signals it that way. Manton now on halfway. So a chance to build a full set here in some good field position for the hosts. Dowell, another carry for Dowell. He's up just short of the Devils 40 there. Holdsworth wants the ball quick. On to Thompson. Flat ball onto Wood. Jake Wood, great leg drive there from the big front rower. He makes the tough name forward pack we were speaking about through the week on Taste of Steel. That is for sure. Johnny has crossed the offload there. It was on. Couldn't quite get it where he wanted to go, but it was that man, Paul Roberts, in support. Jack Cross, he poked his nose through the other side of the line there and had the arm free. He just couldn't quite make the pass stick.
I really like the thinking that Jack Cross had there. He really had an opportunity there to get that arm free. And Roberts, we could hear him yelling from here on the left-hand side of Jack Cross, but the pass just going astray there. It seems to be a lot of ball to Collegians early here, Mitch, and they just can't seem to get past this Western Suburbs Red Devil defence. They're really standing up, and it's a scrappy effort defensively, and they're getting the job done at the moment.
They are in this opening 8 minutes. Jack Cross, he got a bit of footy in him in the pre-season. He was featuring there in the halves here and there. So I missed a fix it for Coach Nathan Fiend, but I think his spot, his future certainly is in the back row. So watch for that arm to get free a couple of times again this afternoon as Lachlan Hurst now takes it up towards the 30. Hannington at dummy half. Flat ball there for Colby Pello. In fact, I think it is Johnny Martin there, your man at dummy half. It is Martin. We'll give him that wrap as he kicks it in behind here to Roberts. Roberts bringing it back now. That's a good kick from Martin out of dummy half.
A smart kick, wasn't it? Just really put it in the corner there and give Roberts no room to work with, because we know what he can do with an inch of room.
Went there on the blind side too. Justin Rodriguez was standing open, probably where they thought the ball would go. So a clever kick there from Martin out of dummy half. But again, the Devils, they undo their work there with another penalty.
Well, they've got some kickers at their disposal, don't they? Zach Green, Rodriguez, also Martin, and then you got Reece Hambry on the other side.
Mate, you can throw Mitch Porter into that,
yeah,
into that category as well. So it's a pretty big arsenal. Mind you, Colley's got a few on their side of the deck as well. Dowell still going up over the 40. The big men from Collegians so far really making some inroads. Hooper, double pumps there for Owner. He's got a little bit of space on that side, but Pello making the tackle. You've got to look forward to that battle through the afternoon. Pello and Owner on that side. Very similar attributes, those two. And that'll go right down to the 80th minute. Think another offload there out the back. Holdsworth going back to clean it up.
Too late for that. You got it.
They just went to sleep a little bit on the play there, the Dogs. Dowell taking it up just short of the 10. Boyle with some space. Flat ball there for Roberts. Roberts gives the ball away to Cross, and that'll be the opening try. Jared Boyle, he just held that up beautifully there for Paul Roberts. Put it down to Dowell over near the post. He found his front, got a quick play the ball. And unlike their first shift we saw a little bit earlier on this left side, Boyle with a bit of room to move and some space. Paulie Roberts chiming into the back line beautifully, and Jack Cross, the beneficiary there to score the opening try of the match.
Yeah, well, the two big front rowers, Wood and Dowell, they're just making meters straight through the middle. They've been so destructive. It's just allowing Jared Boyle on this left-hand side with a ton of time to really lay it on to the outside backs there. And what a ball it was for Boyle, just holding it up there, and Roberts steaming onto it and then finding that man we're only giving a rap to moments ago, young Jack Cross, to cross over for the first try of the day. But they've had a wealth of ball here, Collegians early, Mitch.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about who's not here too often, but it's my first real good look at West this afternoon, and we talked in the pre-season about some of the people coming away, and it's a bit of a new look forward pack, but Kieran Rankmore not there, and he was such a good tone setter for this side in the middle of the park, could really hit and stick in that middle third, and Collies are having their own way of it there at the minute.
Yeah, Leah Tingaga, he was huge for him last year. And Will Tamari, who's been super this year so far, he's out for today. But not a bad replacement when you got Marty Cramp coming in.
Marty Cramp, yeah, he's handy.
Yeah.
He's come back too. He's come back absolutely fit as a fiddle. I remember speaking to Pete McLeod in the pre-season as Hooper moves in. He just hooks that one away. Probably a kickable one too. He'd like to have that one over again. But as I said, touching on Marty Cramp being back, he was very, very impressive in the pre-season. Super fit.
First point, step across the drive for Collegians. 4 points to go.
Doesn't look like he's out there at the moment though. As Green gets us underway, a swirling one. Hooper coming forward to take it, and he spilt that one straight up. So there you go. He's hooked the conversion, and now a forgettable take there. And it's one of the features of Zach Green's game, isn't it, Johnny? He can do that with a bomb and then off the tee as well. That looked nightmarish to take directly into the sun. So much as you'd like him to take that one, hard to blame the young halfback there. That was a tough one.
He's got the Kyle Felt sort of kick-off at times, doesn't he, Zach Green there? But, yeah, no place to hide in here at the middle of the field, is there, at Collegian Sporting Complex when you make a mistake like that? We're sitting up here in the grandstand. Everyone's got eyes on you.
Yeah, it's very quick too. They've had little possession down this end of the park. Collies have really worked hard for that opening 4 points, but now they'll find themselves directly under the pump. Straight away, Rodriguez dummies outside, goes off his right foot. Coming right on the short side, that's Dixon. Dixon dumped on his back there by Boyle. Still some stacked numbers on the short side. They go open. Hanbury onto Green. Green shimmies to the outside, and Hooper makes the tackle one-on-one. Good defensive work from the number 7. Martin onto Blay. Blay still going the redhead. Like to see him get over the try line. Loved it to see when the Rangers get a chance, as someone who sports a proud ginger beard myself, as Dylan Laurie rather gets up towards the try line. He'll be made to play at a metre short. Rodriguez on the toe. Roberts all over that one. He's going to go on the counter as well. Green making the tackle. Well, we said he'd been shifted there from the centres to fill a bit of a hole there with Alec Reid out, mate. He's looked like the most experienced fullback you'll see in the competition early on with his positioning.
Well, his positioning's just been first class, hasn't he? Just seems to be in the right spot every time, knowing when one of these halves from Western Suburbs is going to put the kick through there. So good signs early for Paul Roberts going back to number 1.
It was a well-weighted kick too. You'd have thought that had pulled up in the end goal if Rodriguez could have got it in there, but now it's Collegians right up on halfway, and with their tails up, Thompson Stevie on that one, and a shot over the top there from Dylan Laurie, and oh boy, I don't know.
I can't have that.
Yeah, we've got the different rules around the shoulder charge these days, but there was plenty of arm in that one.
Well,
we can't be penalised, as Mitchy Porter says as well. You can't be penalising guys for a shot like that. You want to see the big boys going at it. We've seen it outlawed out of the game. It's not a new rule anymore either, but that one, that looked pretty front on to me.
Yeah, I thought it was very front on there. I thought it was a great shot there from Dylan Laurie. But anyway, Thompson, he's down on his haunches here. I can't have that one, Mitch. I usually go along with the referees and agree with a lot of their decisions, but that one, yeah, Tyrone Jordan there, I'm going to go against you on that.
I think we're in agreement on that one, mate. I didn't think it was a penalty either. I saw that one. But that's the way the arm goes up. Roberts with a beautiful touch finder. He's pitched about 40 metres there. Holdsworth. And again,
They haven't got these taps right, have they?
they haven't got it right at all, but it seems the Devils there were in strife there. So we do it again as Dow goes up towards halfway again. He's directly in front of the post as they come right to Hooper. Back on the inside for Ona. Steamy onto that one. Rodriguez there, I think it was, making a tackle that had to be made. In fact, it was Green, the fullback. Boyle, flat ball for cross off his left foot. At Rodriguez, still backing his way towards the try line, his cross. Boyle, flat at first receiver, goes off his left foot, goes off his right as well. And play. Oh no, he spilt the ball at the end. And so it's a knock on there as well. So a knock on over the try line, no advantage it'll be. The 20 metre tap for the Devils, and they might have just dodged a bullet there. Jared Boyle, we don't see him. He's got so much time with the footy. We don't often see him tuck it under the arm and take the line on like that, but he does possess a good running game, and just some last-ditch defensive work from the Devils denies the big man.
Yeah, they jumped up really fast on this short side because they were outnumbered. It was 2-on-3, and they jumped up quick there on Boyle. Decided to go himself there, and it's not often you see Jared Boyle make a mistake, but he's coughed the ball up over the white line there. But Western Suburbs now approaching the halfway line. Good set of 6 here early.
Martin out of halfway. Yeah, you've got to give a rap to this right edge. Much as the try did come through, they've had plenty thrown at him early on. I think that's going to be a good battle throughout the afternoon, edge on this side. Closest to our commentary position. Martin at dummy half onto Rodriguez. Back on the inside for Blay, who was from a standing start, pinches 10 metres there. Martin at dummy half. Rodriguez, blindside, chips over the top, and Manton, he must have the glue on the hands there. He just sticks the one arm out and takes that easily. It was like a slips catch there from Manton.
They must have dipped their hands in Araldite before they run out there. What a take there. And you're speaking of battles, Manton v Porter on this side. Mitch, how good's that?
They are all across the paddock. That will be one to watch. Holdsworth now onto Owner from the other side. Martin, some good first up contact there, and Blay over the top to finish that tackle off. Plays it to Holdsworth. Roberts in through the middle of the ruck. Good work from Martin. He must have got caught out offside there, and he had the arms up. Who me, sir? Holdsworth from dummy half. He is outside the 40. A good kick nonetheless in behind Zach Green, and he leaves the chase. So good work there from the number 9. We spoke through the week about Holdsworth. Nathan Feen, the coach, a huge rap on this young bloke, and a clever kick there.
A very nice kick there. Really turned around the Western Suburbs defence here, and we're still getting the West boys coming back on side. So 2 tackles in, and West are finally back on side. Collegians really going to jam up here.
That's Colby Pello dumped over there by Owner. It's another one of those battles that we touched on. Slow going for the Devils in this set. They're up towards the 40. Laurie finds his front. Looking for a quick play. The ball, he gets it. And I'll tell you what, every Collies defender on this side was about 2 metres in front of the referee then. Very lucky not to get pinged on that one.
That was a big towering kick there from Zach Green there. An absolute torpedo there, and it was just well taken by Paulie Roberts. He made the execution look very, very easy there. And that's
some good contact there too. Redhead on redhead. Yep. Blay and Constable, they put the brotherhood aside there. Still going there. This is a good carry. Think about him in that man Wood again. No, in fact, from the bench, it's Zach Hicks into the action. Phillips plays it to Holdsworth. Dow. How many carries is that for Josh Dow?
He's had a few.
He's been really racking them up early on. Now, what we've seen there, is it a bit of a blood bin rule there? Blay might have picked up a bit of claret. Or perhaps just a bit of a head knock. Made a good fist of his opportunity, Zach Blay, today. He's been around the first grade ranks and thereabouts for a long time. Into a starting role this afternoon and throwing himself right into it.
He's been busy in the middle, hasn't he, defensively? They haven't stopped running at him.
Dixon on this side too, getting some running repairs, and they go that way. Boyle, this will be a tester on this side. Appleby lets that one bounce, and he's knocked that off forward. I think he's got that down in the corner. He has. Lovely work there from Manton. He got airborne and just sneaks the ball in. Just inside the chalk on this side of the park, closest to our position. And it was a towering kick there for Boyle. He put that one nice and high, but wasn't quite a spiral one. You think at this level you want your back three to be able to reel those ones in. Appleby just let that one bounce, and it bounced a million miles in the air. And on this side, Manton good enough to reel that one in and plant it.
We've talked
just inside the corner post.
We've talked about Zach Green's kicking game, those high bombs there, and Jared Ball's just thought, well, if you can do it, I can do it even better. And it was a towering kick there. But Appleby, he really should have tried and at least attempted to catch that on the full there. He's allowed it to bounce. It's been battered back by the Collegians attack there. And Brad Manton comes up with a great try. One of those Melbourne Storm winger-like tries there. Just dived from about 7 metres out and planted it right inside the line, right next to the corner post there. So great work there from Manton. 8-0, 20 to go in this one, Mitch, and they just haven't had much ball, West, have they?
No, you think they'll be absorbed, but that'll be the message. It's a heavyweight clash between these two. They'll know it'll swing, momentum swings. So they've just got to deal with this more, but plenty of experience. Guys, they've won a comp, a lot of the guys in that competition, so in that side rather. They know what it takes to get big games won, so I'm sure there won't be any panic down there behind the try line there for the Devils, but they're just under the pump here at the moment. Hooper, a much tougher task than his last one. He'll be looking to make amends though if he can. He'll go a long way to it if he can nail the sideline conversion. He's nailed that, he's gone off the upright and in, so there it is. The young halfback, he knocks that one over. I didn't want to back him in. That old commentator's mock would have been no good for him. I reserve judgment, and he knocks that one over.
It was good, when you're at the football and someone's kicking for goal and it's all nice and loud and everything. I think the whole joint went dead quiet then. Everyone's mouth was wide open, just watching that one sail and hit the upright and just fall over the black dot.
Got to say, I was expecting the Steve Perry call or something to come from somewhere, from the Devils faithful. Where were the fans there? Prime opposition, a bit of lolly legs. Constable now. Hicks edging his way up towards the 20. Looking for a good set off points here. Constable in off the right wing. It's been a feature so far this afternoon. The back five heavily involving themselves for the Dogs. Phillips takes it up just short of his own 40. I think this is Hicks again on that side. Holdsworth short side. Boyle, second man for Hooper. Some space for Constable, but he comes back in field perhaps wisely as the cover converged. Hicks, slight jink off his left foot and takes it up over the 30. Holdsworth, second man for Boyle. Boyle just finds the grass with that one. A tester for Appleby, but he gets a nice bounce this time. Oh, but he spilt it. And I might have just put the mock on him slightly. Paulie Roberts giving him a bit of curry after that as well. Letting him know, and Collies, they feel right on top here.
Yeah, they sure do, and Appleby's really getting a taste of welcome to first grade here. Relentless again there from Jared Ball. Just put that kick straight down to him. He knew he made the mistake only minutes ago, then it tested the young winger out again, but the chase from Collegians was very, very good. Didn't allow Appleby much time when he got the ball in hands, and they've come up with a great shot, and Appleby's just coughed up the ball. 10 metres out, Collies will feed the scrum. Mitch, if they go through here, it's a big battle for West to climb back from where they are on the scoreboard.
You certainly wouldn't put them out of the contest, but would become a bit of a steeper mountain as owner now, edging his way over the 10. 8 metres out. Colley's turning it on. The Devils under pressure. Wood taking it up to within inches of the left upright there. Numbers on this side. And it's taken away by Mitchie Porter, and he's in the clear. Chaser's coming. I don't think they're going to get near him, Mitchie Porter. He's making his way over towards the post. And there it is. Well, just like that, Johnny. We said they were under the pump. A try here. Can they respond? And Mitch Porter, he took the odds to it. They were short on this edge. Jared Boyle knew it, went for the long pass, and Mitch Porter just snaffles that one and goes the length.
I tell you what, Jared Ball, it's not often he does make a mistake there, and he's seen the numbers on the left-hand side here. Collies are outnumbering Western, but Mitch Porter, he knew exactly what Boyle was going to do then. Chanced it there and took the intercept and just run about 80, 90 metres there and put the ball down. Great work there from the skipper.
Really was a bit of a case of, good attack but better defence. And
yeah.
Mitch Porter there, he took the odds to it. He knew they were outnumbered, and he got right up in that passing lane. Snaffled the ball, and doesn't look like he's moving that fast, Mitchie Porter, when he gets going, but the Chasers, they just weren't pegging him back at all. He
mightn't look fast, but it's quicker than you and me.
It's much quicker than you and me. You saw how long it took me to get up the stairs. Getting up here, mate, as Mitchie Porter made that look easy.
What a turnaround in the game here. If Mitch Porter knocks this over, Wests are only 4 points behind.
It is interesting. It's funny how quickly the mental battle swings, because Collies have been right on top here, and I don't think I can even put the mock on Mitch Porter. He'll knock this one over from in front. One of the sharpest shooters we've ever seen in the Illawarra League. And all of a sudden, it's only the 4 points for that 15 minutes to go. So the 25 minutes of dominance there from Collegians for the most part.
Dominance
as
well
as
themselves
just 4 points in front.
As well as ball possession. They've had probably 75% of the pill today, and it's all been down Western Suburbs end.
You have to say self-inflicted from the Devils, discipline and some mistakes with the footy. It's not the way they typically go about their business, as Porter does knock that one over.
I'm glad he did for your sake there, Mitch.
He's a pretty mellow man, Pete McLeod, but I think if I'd put the mock on Mitch Porter from in front, I might have struggled to get me post-game interview. I really might.
You'd have had to done it by phone on Monday morning.
Even then I might have battled. So Boyle now with the tee, he'll get us back underway. And the Devils, that'll just really give him a boost there. Right under the pump, and they just turn defence into attack. And just like that, they're right back into the game as Boyle sends this one down. Hanbury to field it, Laurie. Some good first up contact there, but he wears it well. Dylan Laurie, he's really has been, but has to emerge as the sort of leader in this forward pack this year, Johnny.
Yeah, he has to. Well, it's a younger looking pack, isn't it? There's no, as we touched on earlier, there's no Rankmore. There's no Leah Tingaga, who really got the go forward going for West last year.
Glenn Stewart, yes, exactly. So someone had to stand up, and the likes of him and Zach Blay have really stood up early in this season. That's from inside 40 from Rodriguez. Roberts going to field that one, and he does. Almost got caught out there. A great kick from Rodriguez nonetheless, but Roberts trying to pinch some metres on the back of it as well, and he does. And he might have spilt that there, he has. So a good kick from Rodriguez. They got a chase on the end of it. A good set after points there from the Devils.
Yeah, good work there from West there. The kick was good, the chase was good, and the defence was even better. Roberts coming up with a mistake, and look, they're going to feed the scrum 30 metres out centre of the paddock, and Mitch, we're just seeing a little bit of swing in this game at the moment.
It does swing so quickly, particularly when you've got two quality sides going at it. They can really punch off the ropes is the big difference between the sides that are right in this title frame and the others. Their ability to counter punch when they're under the pump and they're sucking in the big ones, and that's what the Devils are looking to do here. They've got all the momentum now in this last little stretch. Dixon now taking it up towards the 30 on the short side. Martin at dummy half. Blay still going up towards the 20. Stanford, second man for Rodriguez. Flat ball there. Rodriguez again at first receiver. Stanford, he'll settle. And a knock on there in a dummy half. Wade Stanford, not one to usually make mistakes like that one. But just like that, the pressure valve just released slightly for the Dogs.
Zach Blay off the field for Western Suburbs, and big Daniel Zohar on for the Red Devils, replacing Zach Blay. And Zohar was impressive in the early part of the season in that Challenge Cup, Mitch.
Yeah, he brings a bit of bulk, brings a bit of size, the Chief. He had a bit of a run with injury and had a bit of time away from footy, but back into it this year, and he just gives him that big body. Coming on here with 11 minutes to go with a fresh set of legs. You really want to throw that size around. Constable. And, well, that's a relieving penalty, and there it is again. It's just been the absolute Achilles heel for the Devils this afternoon. That's a penalty there from Rodriguez, just hanging on too long. Just one that didn't need to be given away. They were under the pump, Collies. There was nothing doing on that play. No need to try to pinch that extra few seconds, and just like that, Roberts' fine touch, and the Devils back on the back foot.
It's a big turnaround there, isn't it? A penalty inside the 10 metres, and then a good clearing kick there from Collegians, and now they're nearly halfway, Mitch, and 10 minutes left on the clock, and 6 tackles up their sleeve onto the halfway line, and it just swinging. This game just keeps on swinging.
And Rigg now, it looks like he'd have come into that middle forward position there off the bench. Holdsworth still at dummy half. See them working a tandem there as Phillips. This is Phillips' time of the game. We see it year in, year out. As there he is as I put the mock on him. I was saying, Johnny, this is Buffer's time. Year in, year out we see it. This 10 minutes before half time when the fatigue really starting to sneak in. This is where he takes his opportunities and just didn't quite make that offload stick there.
He's just crept his way into the middle of the paddock, hasn't he, the last couple of sets there, the skipper, and he's making metres through the middle. But his leg drive, how good is it?
You'd like to get him on a tightrope, wouldn't you?
Oh.
His balance. I don't even know if it's pure strength. It's his balance. He's so hard to knock off his feet. He stands in tackles. Not the biggest guy at all when you get up close to him. Makes every one of those kilos count, though, in the contest. Causes plenty of headaches for opposition defensive lines as Appleby now driven backwards to the 20 there. Short side to Pello. Pello skips off his right foot, tries to go around Ona, who makes the tackle over that side with Constable. Young Appleby there just down in back play. He's been in the wars so far in this opening 40 minutes, the young winger. Colley's numbers in the tackle, so looking to seize back momentum here through their defence. The Dogs could have been a little bobble there in the play, the ball. Collegians certainly appealing for it, but play on the call. Stanford up towards the 40. Laurie off his right foot. Still going Laurie. That's a good carry. He'll play it on halfway. Rodriguez in behind the line here. And he's going to look for the chalk on this side, but Roberts again fielding that one on the full. I think it must have been on the tip sheet to try to pepper this side, Johnny, because that's where all the kicks have come.
Yeah, definitely. It has all come down this side of the paddock, and at their disposal, West have got so many kickers, but it just seems to be Rodriguez doing the bulk of it and kicking down this right-hand side, and just
a knock
see an
on
error.
there. I think it's Duffy in from this wing, trying to help his forwards out. Do you think it could be a tactic, just kicking in behind Collies there on this side and making him keep bringing the ball out from here? Do you think it's a tactic to take Jared Boyle out of the game? Because we saw him have to go over to the right side before. Could that just be playing on the mind a little bit there? Because not a lot of room to work with there. He does play on this left flank. Just trying to keep him out of the game a little bit.
Well, they're going to have to do something here, because you've got to do something to keep Jared Boyle out of the game. We've watched over a number of years how good he is in attack, and the more work that he does, the more vulnerable he could possibly get. I've never seen it, because every time you hear a crowd or someone try and put him down, he just seems to go up a cog.
Martin at the back of the scrum. They go the shorter side to Pello off his left foot. Got away from Ona. They're still going Pello. And he's knocked it on there as well. So some errors creeping into this one, and the boys just getting a bit antsy there on that side.
A little bit of errors and also a little bit of fatigue starting to kick in, Mitch. 7.5 minutes left in this first half, and it's been played at such a fast-paced game of rugby league. You've got a feel for some of the boys out there at the moment. They'll be looking for the half-time break.
Some of the efforts, I look at the big men for West. Dylan Laurie hasn't had a spell playing in the front row. Josh Dowell as well on the other side of churning through huge minutes. So some of the boys, they'll earn their half-time oranges. Hooper feeds the scrum. Holdsworth at the back of it. Manton. And they'll say that was a strip. The ball coming loose again. Stanford, the man pinged. And I think Wado might just disagree with that one quietly. And Boyle coming up to get the footy. Roberts again will look for the touch finder. I think they were all expecting the kick there. The Devils are a long way back. You wouldn't put it past someone like Paulie Roberts to take a quick tap and
do the cheeky one.
Take the chances to it. And that hasn't found touch. And Antrobus on this side, he feels that. It was good awareness from the man. Just come off the bench there and straight into the action. And that hat will be getting wrenched off Nathan Feed's head there. And Cardinal sin to do that one. And now it's the Devils back on the attack, and they breathe a sigh of relief and look to punch back on at Stanford. Second man for Hanbury. Haven't seen a lot of Reece Hanbury yet this afternoon. Not a lot of footy, and not a lot of it certainly on that edge over that side as Dylan Laurie takes it up just shy of the 10. Numbers blindside, they go open. Stanford dummy. Stanford still going. They make the tackle. Numbers on the right-hand side now. Rodriguez calling for the footy there. And he drops that on the toe, and Boyle, he gets the deflection. Now he goes back on the attack. Rodriguez did a good job there. The ball out in front. He just took a little step backwards to come onto it on the run and had the kick in behind. And if it hadn't taken that deflection, it was going to cause some problems there at the back.
Well, they got lucky then, Collies, didn't they? It was just the boot of Jared Boyle stopping that ball. It looked like the Collies boys were going to jump on it there in an offside position, but they held their nerve there, and Boyle just got to the ground first and grabbed that ball then. But they just keep giving away some penalties at crucial times here, Collegians. They're allowing West back into the game at times.
Good defence there from Porter in off the line there. The skipper trying to lead from the front. Blake Phillips And now Boyle from inside the 40, but he'll kick directly down the middle of the park. Green taking that one on the full. And he's got... Oh, well, Hurston. Well, that's just an absolute cardinal sin. You would just tuck that under and take the tackle, wouldn't you?
No, you sure would. I'm not sure what was going on there. Lachlan Hurst was on the right. I don't think he was expecting it.
It's just one of those passes you wonder why it was even thrown. And now they're right back under pressure, the Devils. He keeps the hair crop pretty short, but Pete McLeod will be tearing it out over that one as Hooper, long ball, and Otis puts that one. And now on the counter-attack, it's Hambry. Hambry still going. Hooper giving chase. He gets the fend. He's still going, Hambry. Constable coming. He's going to try to make the last-ditch tackle. He makes the ankle tap, but Hambry up and goes again. They make the old legs. They've still got some go in them.
I tell you what, from the English Super League, the Collegians Sporting Complex, Reece Hambry going down that sideline. I won't say it's electric, but he got there in the end, but the chase there from Collegians was very, very good. And it was Constable there, I think, that got him on the ankles there, but there was no one else to help him there. And Hambry, he didn't realise his luck once he got knocked down and then realised there was no one around him.
We were just saying he'd been a bit quiet the first half. They hadn't gone to that edge a whole lot. And again, that's going to be a tough one to swallow for Coach Nathan Feen and the Dogs. They've been on top for most of this half, and 2 tries, 1 an intercept and 1 a ball hitting deck, and 2 blokes going the length. It's got to be a tough one to swallow. You'll go in with your head down just a little bit at half time, particularly if Mitch Porter knocks this one over. And
big chance.
We've touched on how good a kicker he is. It's kickable by his standards, certainly. You think about, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Reece Hambry streaks away and scores that one under the post, don't you think?
Yeah. I won't say it was in slow motion, but it wasn't in fast forward. But the ball from Braden Hooper, it didn't need to be passed. That long cutout ball there. Collies had the numbers through the hands. All they needed to do was just put it through the hands there. But Hooper just taken the wrong decision there and thrown the long ball. And it put his outside back under a lot of pressure there from the Western Suburbs defence, causing the error. And Hambry just in the right spot to go the length of the field.
Could it just be we're just seeing perhaps a touch of the experience gap there? It's very easy to get excited. Half-time closing in. West made an unforgivable error at their own end, turned it over, and things just got a bit frantic there. And as you said, just the wrong option taken by a touch, and you can get punished in big games like this one. Oh. Porter, well, there it is. That is the mock. That is the mock off the upright there.
He's hit it that good. The upright posts are still swinging.
They are. He knocked that. They are blowing him that he knocked that. That was going to go into the greenery behind the post.
10-all. It was 10-0 early in this game, Mitch, and now West have slowly clawed their way back through a little bit of luck there and back to 10-all, 2 minutes to go, and they wouldn't be too happy about this, Collegians.
No, not at all. You'd think with a minute 55 counting down, they'll go into half-time. Pete McLeod will be ecstatic with where his side sits. Some ill discipline from them, giving away plenty of penalties and a couple of errors as well, but be good enough to hold on in patches and then counter-punch as well. He'll be absolutely delighted. Nathan Feen probably just have to remind his troops we were on top in that contest and we're still in this arm wrestle and try to get a return on that long-term investment down the stretch.
We've talked about over the last couple of seasons about Nathan Feen's halftime speeches. How good must they be when they've gone into the sheds behind? But I tell you what, I'd like to be a fly on the wall for this one.
I don't think they'll be copping too much of a spray, the Dogs. They're not things you can readily defend, those sorts of tries. They're just guys that are, the bounce of the ball goes their way. Mitch Porter, he took a 50-50 bet on this side and ended up with it. And Reece Hambry just scooped up a ball, probably thought he was going to pinch about 20 metres and ends up going the length. As Roberts now going back to field this one. That's a good kick on the back of points from the Devils. And Zohar, the big man, putting Paul Roberts squarely on his back there, and that's the sort of set you want after points, Johnny.
Yeah, it definitely was, and it was it was Rodriguez there, Justin Rodriguez. He took control at the tail end of that set with a beautiful kick down in the corner, and now Collegians cramped up inside their 20. But Zohar, what a smacking shot that was on Paul Roberts.
You got to see the big fella's eyes light up, don't you? He's just crabbing his way across. He hasn't really got many places to go, and you get a chance. You get a chance on those number ones. They can often leave the big fellas grasping for air, but not on that occasion. As Porter, and that pass from Boyle put Manton under plenty of pressure. He makes something of it, though, breaking a couple of tackles. But now he's spilt that one as well, so some errors creeping in for both sides here. And that'll just about do it. 5 seconds on the clock. Neither side too eager to pack this scrum. And that is the hooter. So half-time, 10-all the score. Probably what we would have predicted coming into this one, Johnny, but certainly not the way it's occurred. It's been a game of dramatic ebbs and flows. We have an incredibly enthralling second 40 minutes, you have to think, coming up. We'll be back with the second stanza in just a little while. Well, welcome back to Collegians Sports Centre. The hosts making their way back onto the park. 10-all the score. A topsy-turvy first half. You wouldn't know what was going to happen next in that one. The bounce of the ball, as we were just saying off air, Johnny, it seemed the bounce of the ball certainly went West way in a couple of instances, but the Mountain try on this side too, a bounce sitting up for them. So both sides have ridden their luck at times and taken their chances in that regard, but still anyone's game here with a full 40 to go.
Oh, it sure is. 40 minutes remaining. We're locked 10-all. 3 of the 4 tries coming off favourable bounces for the sides. The only really decent try that would put in a little bit of hard work was the one to Jack Cross down here to open up the account for today. The other 3, just a little bit of luck with the bounce of the ball. I tell you what, Mitch, that was the 40 minutes in the first half. What are we in for this second one? Because it's going to have the ebbs and flows like we haven't seen ever before.
I think we might see some quality in this half because, as I said, it's a mental battle for Collegians. They were on top for the most of that, probably 30 of those 40 minutes, but the Devils, as good sides do, just able to hang in there and then counterpunch where they can. And Collies went in finding themselves with the scores all level. Sure, the message there from Nathan Feen was along those lines. Boys, we've been on top for most of this. You just got to stick with it and it'll pay off for us in the back end. And on Pete McLeod's side, you'd probably give him a bit of a clip on the ear over some discipline in some penalties and those sorts of things. They'll be trying to get that right in this half, and you imagine they will. So I reckon we're in for an absolute belter of a 40 minutes here.
I'm going to agree with you.
That's Phillips now with the first carry of this second half. Duffy in off the wing. Taking that ball up towards the 30. Holdsworth, that dummy half onto Dow. Dow, I don't think he had a spell in the first half, the big number 10. If he did, it was brief. He's right back into the action there. Brodie Rigg gets away from one tackle, Brodie Rigg. Sort of got a bit of a soft shoe shuffle about his work, Brodie Rigg, but very hard to bring down as Dow, again, second carry of the set. So a good set to start the second half from Collegians. They're deep in Devils territory, and Boyle will put this kick high. He's going to make that land right in the middle of the back 3, but Mitch Porter there, he's calm and collected bloke at the best of times, and that one he just called his winger and his fullback off the footy and said it's all mine, and he takes it. Played a lot of fullback himself, so adept under the high ball.
Yeah, nice there from Mitch Porter, but a good set from Collegians. That's about a 9 out of 10 in my opinion there, Mitch. That first set of 6. They've got West really jammed up here in the open.
That's a good ball from Embry. He's put Hurst away, and he thought about taking his chances to it, but perhaps wisely comes inside. The cover defence was converging, but Devils willing to chance their arm from inside their own half. It's what makes them so dangerous. They don't think about next play very often, the Devils. They're always on the footy and in the moment, on the play, as Zohar takes it up towards halfway and beyond. Holdsworth making the tackle there with Rigg. And Green, he puts this one high. It's spiralling around. This will be a tester for Roberts. And he does well, Roberts at the back. Made the one error at the back in a play the ball, but been pretty good at the back there, the number 1, as Ona now takes it up to the 30. Duffy in off the wing again. Just shy of the 40. Holdsworth to Rigg, and they're really bunched up here, the Dogs in behind the ball. Not a lot of adventure in this set. Just trying to get through it without error, you would think. Hicks takes it towards the Devils 40. So some good meters again from the Devils if it was a set without too much extravagance as they go over there to Porter going back to field that one as well. And there's some space on that side. He goes back. In fact, it looks like Mitchy Porter might just be playing out there on the wing defensively to take the high ball. They've got young Bailey Antrobus over on that side playing on the wing, but as he spills the ball there too. But Porter perhaps an effort there just to diffuse that difficult kicking game of Jared Boyle. He's gone back there to take a few of those high balls.
Yeah, smart play there from Pete McLeod. Opting there for Mitch Porter to drop back. A very, very good number 1 in his own right there. So there'll be a lot more pressure off the kick there with Porter going back to diffuse some of those bombs, because the Jared Ball boot is so deadly. It can swirl and whirl and go anywhere, but an error here to Wests. Tell you what's like a carbon copy of the first half at the moment, Mitch.
Yeah. Interesting, the breeze that we had in the first half seems to have just rested a little bit. May well pick back up as the half goes on, as Owner. Some good leg drive there, edging his way over the 20. Phillips off his left foot.
Is that a goose step?
We don't see him do the goose step all that often, Buffer, but after all these years in the league, still producing some surprises for us, and that's the penalty, and the 2 points an option here. Scores locked it all but early on, and they say no, we'll tap and go. Riggs, some numbers on that side, plenty of numbers, and some good work over there on that side. Antrobus, he read it well and just got enough in at Manton's face to prevent him finding his winger. Saves a try, certainly. Boyle away from dummy half and nowhere to go there. They were all over him on that side. Tackle by his opposite number there, or rather his opposite playmaker in Justin Rodriguez. Makes the play the ball as messy as he can, J. Rod, as this is Rigg now. He'll take a settler towards the post. It's funny, I shouldn't call it a settler. He never takes a settler, Brody Rigg, does he? Ever. He puts every bit of juice into every run as they come wide again. Hicks pulled up 5 metres short. Boyle in behind the play ball. That's another penalty. So some back-to-back penalties here, and we said as they came back out, they would have been top of Pete McLeod's list to address discipline at half-time, and wouldn't be happy with what he's seeing early on, Johnny.
Just watch this short side here. Lachlanhurst seems to be cramming in a fair bit, and it's leaving Constable out here on his Pat Malone, so look for Boyle to pick that up very shortly.
Phillips, he has the dummy on the outside. He just didn't quite have a runner pick into this hole, but he finds the offload for Holdsworth. He had the right runner there, Buffer. He put someone over untouched. He just couldn't quite get the angle he wanted. And he just got overrun again there, Boyle. So some of the line runners and thought they were going to call play on there. But just a couple of times there, the outside runners just overrunning their inside men.
Yeah, there's been a good feature as well throughout the early parts of this season. Manton, he's been running some real good lines there, but at the moment, just seems to be that Boyle can't find that right player to run that correct line for him. And a bit of a let-off there too, the Western Suburbs Red Devils, and now 10 moves out from their own try line, Mitch, and desperation defence has been a bit of a key for them so far.
Yeah, I suppose, and if you are going to give away the penalties, that's probably the place to do it, isn't it? You don't want to piggyback it side out of their own end. You'll take or pinch every advantage you can and perhaps play a bit loose with the rule book on your own defensive line. The Devils, they'll back their goal line defence, and now it goes the other way, so...
Smart play there from Hanbury. He went into acting half there and seen that the defensive line was offside there. It's not often you see Hanbury take a scoot out of acting half, but good heads-up play there from Hanbury.
Yes, all the experience of the 200 combined NRL and Super League games there from the veterans. Zohar taking it up to the 30. Martin at dummy half onto Laurie. He's got a second man there in Rodriguez, and again the second man in Green. He did well to reel that in. He had Jared Boyle bearing down on him. Martin, flat ball there for Stanford. Plays it to Martin, one marker. Does well to Laurie, a nice ball there, and just didn't quite get where he wanted it. They had the numbers on this side. It was certainly the right idea. Laurie went deep into the line there, and just the pass out the back, and just went a little bit behind Hanbury, and the chance goes begging.
I like the thinking there from West. I really like what they had planned to do there, but the pass just going astray. I don't mind when you see the front row and the 5'8" get involved there. It puts that extra number into the attacking line and makes the defensive line really double think what they're going to do, but a few errors creeping in early here, Mitch.
Yeah, first opportunity of the half up this end, but I think they'll be coming back to this side again and trying to get a bit of joy there with Hanbury, because they had stripped the Dogs for numbers there and just couldn't quite execute. Owner taking it up to the 20.
They haven't used Hanbury much in that first half attackingly, and they're starting to show their hand on this side early.
That's Cross on that edge. Slow going there for Cross. Blake Phillips dragged down. Good marker defence there from Rodriguez. Sneaks out from that first marker spot and tackle round the legs. Smart play there from Boyle too. Goes right back where Rodriguez normally defends in the line, and Manton pinches 15 metres. Boyle cross off his right foot in behind the ruck. Dixon making that tackle. Boyle, this one high. This will be a tester for Green. And he makes it look easy in the end. Catches it on the fingertips. And a good chase on the kick as well. So Collegians getting themselves into the grind. Pello off his left foot and he's swamped there in defence. Owner and Constable and Holdsworth also involved. Hurst, the left winger, takes it up through the big men. And a slower play the ball that he would have liked as Stanford at first receiver. He dummies to Zohar and tucks it under the arm, perhaps wisely. Down in their own end and some space over on that blind side, and Laurie gets on the back of that. A couple of good carries there from some of their middle men. He got them out of their own end, which was slow going early on, and Green, he puts this kick high. Constable and Roberts both going for it, and Constable wisely just stepping back there and letting the fullback take it. I think in most instances you've got to give number one first crack at it.
It was a good understanding from Roberts and also Constable there, wasn't it? Constable really stood off the ball and allowed Roberts to take that nice and cleanly there, and we've seen in so many competitions when the 1 and 2 don't talk to each other and they just bang heads.
Look at the Panthers last night.
Yeah, there's another one.
As you see, even at NRL level. Dylan Watini, Zalesniak copping one from the teammate there, and down they go. And God, let's not get started on the Panthers.
I was about to chime in. I really had to hold it there.
As Rigg takes it up over the 40. Dow, Wood. He had runners on his outside, and he makes a good run in the end there. Holdsworth drops that on the toe. Green coming forward to pick it up and gets a bit of cover there from his winger in Hurst, and they'll say just snuck up there.
A little bit unlucky there for Collegians.
Unlucky there from
good work
Hicks
from
on his side. He got through on the kick chase, but Zachary just trying to find the ground to avoid being pushed into his in goal and just gets collected a little bit high.
Yeah, he got clipped there. He was falling to the ground there, Zach Green, but he's done a good job with the one on his back today. Can't really fault him. Him and also Paul Roberts have both been very, very good having that one jersey on their back. We've seen them not often play that number one position, so they've done a real good job there filling in.
Oh, and geez, and Ona, the centre, he's come in there looking for a shot, and he's lost his feet and just crept up there. I don't think there was too much harm done. I tell you what, I wouldn't be trying to land an arm on that dome of Daniel Zohar. I tell you what, they call him Chief for a reason.
I tell you what, he's jumped up about 4 foot, hasn't he, to really clip Zohar around the noggin.
Indeed it is, but it's back-to-back penalties now for Collegians, and they'll just need to settle that down a little bit.
Does this go on report?
I think it just might have been a caution.
Just a caution.
And Green, I thought for all money that wasn't going to go out, but it's a perfect touch finder. He's pinched about 50 metres there. Marty Cramp now onto this one, and Walsh also into the action, the number 9 getting his first taste of the action this afternoon. Flat ball might have even been forward, I think. No doubt what Saxon Owner thought on this side. He almost stopped dead. I tend to agree with him on that one, but play on. Stanford, flat ball for Zohar. The Devils looking to put something together. Rodriguez, flat ball there. On that side, still going, is Dixon. Lined up short side again. Rodriguez off his right foot. Rodriguez trying to burrow his way across. He's got over there.
It is.
No, he's held up. They tried to sell a big dummy to the referee there, the Devils. They were all up. And now Green, not quite the weight he would have wanted, but Owner has to get through there and take that one. Hanbury with the chase. And I don't think it's the kick Zach Green was planning when he put the ball on the boot, but the result, the one he was after. Rodriguez there, he went close. A few of the West boys claiming that one. And again, he's got an underrated running game close to the line as well. He's not the speediest number 7 you'll see, but he's just one of those guys like Jared Boyle in the first half we said, who just has a bit of time with the footy, and he almost caught them napping there.
Yeah, he's very sharp. Rodriguez close to that line. He sold it to me. Him and the rest of the Western Suburbs players, they sold it to me there, but Green's kick taking deflection off the upright there and landing in the in goal, so a drop out here from Boyle back to the Western Suburbs.
Do you remember, Johnny, it was a Challenge Cup game, and
that's a big drop out.
I was doing the call. That's gone about 60 on the fly. Marty Cramp all around this one, and he takes his time and very cautious with that one, Cramp. And the shot there as well from Jared Boyle. So he's just sensing the game. Because Slippy turning momentum provides the huge drop out in the big shot on the front rower, and Geez, I don't know about that penalty. I thought it was a fairly dominant tackle. You'd give him the benefit of the doubt in that one. Jared Boyle, he found plenty of space with the dropout. And then he gets up there and puts the shot on a front rower in Marty Cramp as well. Doesn't get the reward in the end.
No, that's two I'm going to have to go against the referee today.
Cramp. But you've seen a lift there in Collies. Boyle just lifting his side there. They're all getting up off the line there, and that was a knock on. And they'll say a penalty the other way there, I was going to say. And look at that. Blake Phillips just coming in, and they're putting it on here now. Right amongst us, the two heavyweights. Bringing plenty into the contest now. And I tell you what, Blake Phillips, he's a competitor, but he's not the type to usually involve himself in that sort of stuff. But he got right up there in Marty Cramp's grill just to let him know about that one. So I don't know if there were a few things said in the lead up, or perhaps it's just the skipper sensing his moment.
Yeah, I think it's the skipper sensing his moment there. You don't see that in Blake Phillips' game, do you? I've never seen it. You see him play hard and fair each week, but yeah, I've never seen him come in like that and really stand up and take authority like that.
Johnny, I like it. I like it. I love it. It might
it's put a little.
It might start a little
put a
stink,
lift
but
in
mate,
my
if I'm
step.
Nathan Feen, I'm thrilled with that. Like I said, the skipper it's that point in the game. It's poised, and he's just come in there and sensed he can get his troops going.
But I really
got right up in there and did that. I love that from the skipper.
I really like Jared Boyle. He dropped it off. He was the first man there from that dropout to really put a shot on the Western Suburbs player there. So I think it was Dylan Laurie, was it, or Marty Cramp?
Marty Cramp.
Marty Cramp, yeah.
He was. We spoke about it through the week in the podcast, Johnny, about how young this Collegian side is and how there is some quality veterans around it, but we're seeing a couple of them really stand up here in this last little period. Yeah,
we sure have here, and the skipper, here he is with the ball. He's the one that's going to stand up here, and these young guys are really going to feed off that.
There's Wood. Wood still going. Wood still going. Still going, Wood. Good work from the front row. They can't bring him to ground. Phillips, dummies. He's 10 metres out. Rig. Flat ball for Dow, and Dow puts that one down as well. So a mistake there, a let-off for the Devils. Just a little bit of sting comes out of the contest. It was really gathering some momentum there.
It sure was, but I think Rig might have taken the wrong option there. Dow was a bit too flat there, but he had players out the back, and Collegians had numbers on their short side there, but a chance go begging in my opinion there. But it's just a letdown there. All that good energy that was in that last set of six there, Mitch, and on the tail end of that, just to come up with a mistake here. I tell you what, I'd like to see another little bit of tension there between a couple of the players. Another real big shot or something like that just to really lift the spirits again.
There's been that sort of game, hasn't it? It's been an arm wrestle. It's been back and forth, and as he driven backwards there now towards his own in-goal there, Pellos. Good defence from the Dogs, but it's been that sort of game, and it's poised for just one guy, if they want to make it his day, to really grab this by the scruff of the neck now with 24 minutes to go and really make the game his own for his side. And we'll see who it's going to be. Plenty of candidates in both these sides. You can pick a number of them, and we'll see who it is as the game goes down the stretch. 10-all the score, 24 minutes to go. Plenty to be written in this one. Stanford off his left, tackled by Rig. Green, he didn't get the pass he wanted there. He was looking for the kick, I think, and he'll have to throw the pass. Dixon on that side, Porter will put the kick in, and not a bad result in the end as they're chasing it. Roberts coming across, and he reels it in well. Robertson does well to avoid the touchline as well. So Greedy was looking for, I think, a high one there, but good pressure from the inside forces him into a pass. But Mitch Porter sneaking away over in that side, and Paulie Roberts, he might have just been when he was trying to get back off the ground there. He slipped in trying to field that one, and let's hope he's okay.
Be interesting here if Paulie Roberts can't get back to his feet, Mitch. Who goes back to number one?
It'd be interesting, maybe a Saxonona or Brad Manton perhaps. Because as we said, he's back there with Alec Reid being absent, the regular number one. Matthew Tilley coming on as the likely replacement. You'd think he would go into the centre position. Dwayne Williamson also coming into the action, so Nathan Thien going to his bench. Also, young Joel Holdsworth has played a lot of positions in the back line. I think a bit of fullback as well, so he might be an option with Brodie Rigg at 9. Don't be surprised if we see Nathan Feen go that way. You've got Saxon Onar and Brad Manton in the centres, two of the best defensive centres in the competition. You probably don't want to tinker with that too much. So it looks like Holsworth has got him behind the line there. Wood on the short side. Williamson up over the 40, tackled there by Cramp. Walsh also involved in the tackle. Tilly. Love Tilly, the Silver Fox. He's up over halfway. Boyle just looking for the turf on this one. He won't get it. Zach Green reels that one in, and I think he'd typically like to get a bit more out of his kick there, Boyle. He just really heaved that one straight down the field, and Zach Green not too much trouble in reeling that one in.
No, it wasn't a kick we're used to seeing from Jared Ball. We see him on so many occasions putting some good towering bombs or finding the grass between the wingers and the fullbacks there. That one going straight down the throat of Zach Green.
Does well not to be pinged there. On that side, Jack Crossy snuck a few metres there but stayed out of the play. You sense now discipline's huge. Both sides fatigued as we enter this last 22 minutes. Piggyback penalties are going to be killer. Turning the ball over in your own end will cost you points. As Rodriguez just puts a little kick in there, and Duffy's going to reel that in with not much trouble. And just like we saw at the other end, it's not the worst end to a set, but perhaps Pete McLeod would have liked to see that go a bit deeper.
Definitely go a little bit deeper there, but West now have really got to jam up on Collegians and keep them down in their own area. I'm just looking over at this Dwayne Williamson that's come on the field. Mitch, what an absolute tank of a human he is.
Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Haven't seen him go around too much before. Getting the big bodies out there. It's the worst thing you want to see when you've been in the middle grinding away, to just put a man mountain in the middle who's going to really suck some juice out of you. Boyle. That's a much better kick there from the veteran. He just kicks it down there, finds touch, and they'll reset.
That's the Jared Ball we know.
Well, you knew he was going to put two back-to-back average kicks in. So now the Devils going back, and this is where you start looking for some subtle things, don't you, Johnny, in some body language, and just see who's faring the better at this point.
Well, looks like all 26 out there are a bit gassed at the
they
moment.
They are a bit gassed, aren't
They're
they?
just
Both
walking
sides,
back.
Just a bit of a relief to see that ball go into touch.
They're probably all out there thanking Boyley for putting that one over.
Might have got the call from the men in fluoro, perhaps. But the Devils now deep inside their own end, looking to bring it out. Antrobus coming away from the scrum, pinching an extra couple of metres there as he goes up towards the 20. Stanford at first receiver. Plenty of footy in him, Wade Stanford, but he's done mostly the hard work this afternoon as Zohar up towards halfway, dragged down 5 metres short. Walsh, short side for Rodriguez. He's got runners on his outside. He hits Dixon with a short ball. Blindside again, Rodriguez, and he's going to put the kick down in here, and he'll be hoping this pulls up for him, and it does. And just like we saw with Jared Boyle, J-Rod, not the kick he was after on the previous set, but he absolutely nails that one.
Yeah, that was perfect there from J-Rod, and the kick chase even better. But there we go, Mitch Porter giving away a penalty. Oh, could have been a real good defensive display there from Western Suburbs there. Paul Roberts trying to get to his feet for a quick play of the ball, and Mitchy Porter just not letting him up.
It's been the story of their afternoon. The Devils have really kicking game. They made some mistakes and give away some penalties. Kicking game in very good this afternoon, but just the habit they've had of releasing the pressure valve. When you see they're just getting on top and starting to build some pressure through their defence, they're just piggybacking collies out of their own end.
They've been their own worst enemy at times.
Boyle, Phillips. He just gets more dangerous as the game goes on, Blake Phillips. As does this man, Brodie Rigg, but reeled in well there from Cramp, working hard from Marker. We need the big Game of Thrones haircut back from Marty Cramp, don't we? I just don't like
you were
it.
Impressed
I just don't like him with the short back and sides. It's no good. Come on, Marty, grow it back, mate. Boyle. Flat ball there for Williamson, and he goes straight over that man, Cramp. Cramp does enough to bring him down, though, as Boyle, little short kick. He's looking for the bounce himself, and Rodriguez hasn't that been a battle on that edge between those two.
Yeah, the two halves there from each side really standing up and battling it out for this whole game so far there. But good run there from Dwayne Williamson. Got the quick play the ball. The option was right there from Boyle, but it was smart thinking from Rodriguez on the flip side.
West, they're doing it tough at their own end, but I like they've done it all afternoon. They've been under the pump at times, but the shape they're holding, they're keeping their line spread and not letting Collies really jam up on them. We've seen it at the other end a couple of times. Collegians, you could throw a blanket over them. West have really managed to jam up in defence and make it tough for them.
The big guns on the
Green's
field.
going to kick. He's looking for a 40-20 here. Probably won't get the roll on that he's after, but it's a good kick nonetheless. He's leading the chase as well. It'll pull up on the Collies 10. Duffy bringing it back and gets away from the tackle of Laurie, but an early kick in that set, but a clever one, Johnny.
It was good there from Zach Green. It pierced the fullback and the winger there, and the chase was good from Western Suburbs. The big guns on the field, Blay and Laurie.
And here we see it right now as we just spoke about. Collies, off this kick return, you could throw a blanket over them. They're all in behind the play the ball here, and West can really jam up here and create some pressure defensively, and that's a good run from Mona. They needed that one.
They sure did, Mitch. The body language from West seemed to be a little bit better than Collegians. I think they're in a little bit better nick, Western Suburbs.
Tilly. And he hasn't cried out in pain. I thought he had there. He might have caught one over the top. And Boyle, again, he's going to look for touch on this one. It might keep rolling, and Greed will have to play at that one.
Class kick.
Very good kick. I think he was happy with either option. Stay in the corner or roll out and give us a chance to reset again. So a bet each way, and they both come off there for Boyle. This is Pello. So Green's been great at fullback today, but you just sense this is the game that's missing a bit of a game breaker. Tony Pello at the back in this type of game. Couldn't you sense him breaking this one open if he was
he'd
there?
be handy. He'd be handy to have right about now. Sniffing around the ruck and one of them big forwards getting an arm free.
They will have to do it without him this afternoon. Hurst. Laurie still going. A lot of quality about his work this afternoon, Dylan Laurie. And Green again from inside the 40 and almost a carbon copy of his last kick. He's testing out Duffy on this end. He'll bring it back. He's got Roberts with him. He dummies. You gotta love the dummy 20 metres ahead of the defensive line, don't you?
Yeah.
Love to see
You're never
that.
going to pass it.
It's like the sidestep. You sidestep 20 metres away from the defensive line. Love seeing that as well. That was my favourite. When I was in the under sixes, I'd go left, I'd go right, I'd go left, and then eventually I'd run up to the defensive line 20 metres away.
Any highlights of that old footage we can get?
Oh, mate, I wish. It was probably the peak
Black
of
and
my
white,
career.
black
Probably
and
the
white.
peak of my career, the under sixes. That was with the Lower Blue Mountains, the Warramoo Eagles.
The Warramoo Eagles.
Yeah, bottom of the Blue Mountains there. Penrith competition. Of course, I always call myself a Foster Tuncurry Hawks junior, the mighty Foster Tuncurry Hawks up on the mid-north coast. It's where the junior career was mostly played. Boyle in there for Green. And Green off his left foot, and he creates a bit of space for himself, Zach Green, and that's a good run. It was another good kick from Boyle. He'd pinned the fullback down in his own end, but some good work from Green just creates an opportunity there, and now it's Porter on the scrum line, on the 30-metre line. They go short. Second man for Hanbury. There's some space here for Hurst. He'll back himself here. He's going to. The ankle tap from Owner. He's got support on the inside in Colby Pello, and if he gives him the ball, Pello scores.
What about the cover tackle from Josh Dow?
Josh Dow, the front rower. They're going to shift the Devils, still looking for the four-pointer. Dixon on that side. Still going Dixon. He wants support. Rodriguez, he wants support. There's no one there. Still going Hanbury. It might finish over where it started. Pello and a great tackle by Owner. Big Josh Dowell is still over here on this blindside sucky in the big ones as Marty Cramp takes it up towards the try line. That was a momentous effort there from the front rower as Rodriguez, he drops that on the toe. It's a good one, and Zach Blay, he's taken on the dead ball and he just couldn't quite get there. An exciting passage of play, and Hurst, it was almost a carbon copy of a play we saw a little bit earlier, but Lachlan Hurst that time crabbed his way back in field, but this time the game, 13 minutes to go, 10-all, you've got to back yourself and try to take that opportunity, and Mate, he had Colby Pello looming up on the inside. If he passes that, they score under the post.
This is getting exciting, isn't it? Very, very exciting here. It's all set up, as you said earlier, Mitch, for someone to put their hand up and just be the hero of the day.
Mate, Josh Dow, the front rower,
massive.
to come across and make that tackle is huge. I remember in the game in round 1 against the Rule, he made a similar one. The big front rower, that's a stupendous effort there. So we just give you some other score updates. Corrimal Cougars up 10-6 at halftime. And the Butchers 18-6 at halftime in that one. We'll check in with some full-time scores as those games will be going down to the wire as well. And that pass forward, so both sides now, they're both sucking in the big ones. And we saw on this side too, Lachlan Hurst, he sprinted away, and the effort made by Josh Dow in there in cover, and the rest of the game was all coming up here. There were some opportunities back towards the post. They went right. Dixon over there with the offload back in field on Rodriguez. If he had a runner either side of him, they'd probably score, the Devils. He gave him a rap earlier on for always being at the footy and not waiting for the next play. They were caught waiting for the next play a little bit there.
Also, the kick from Rodriguez, Zach Blay, no disrespect to Zach Blay, or anyone else with a 6 or 7 or a number 3 on their back probably would have got the ball down, but it was the big front rower there trying to chase down that kick.
Porter away from the scrum, 12 and a half minutes to go. Game in the balance. And good defence there. I think it was Brodie Rigg. It was. Just making it tough for the Devils out of their own end. This is Cramp, and that pass was line ball as well. Probably okay. Walsh at 9. Blay. Hambry. Rodriguez off his right foot. Tackled there by Dowell and Phillips as well. Flat ball there for Laurie. That's Brodie Rigg again. He took a little while to be injected into the game, Rigg, so he'd be that little bit fresher, and he's really leading their line speed here. He gets up there and pinches a couple of metres off Dylan Laurie there. They go to Rodriguez, and he's going to put this one high, make it a lottery. Paul Roberts coming forward. He's going to just... And he spilled that one. And they're going to say play on, and no, they've changed the call now, and they'll say knock on.
Well, he must have got a call from the touch judge there. The
referee. I think it did look like it came forward off their hands to me. It ended up going backwards, but from our position, the referee and the touchy both in far better position to make that call than we are here. But my first thought was knock on.
Big call here in the concept of the game, isn't it? 11 minutes remaining here. West will feed the scrum 15 metres out from the Collegians try line. I tell you what, both teams are absolutely gassed, aren't they?
I don't know if that was the kick Rodriguez was trying to pull off, but it ended up being a perfect one. Just dropping it into no man's land there, making Paul Roberts have to really come forward at the ball and the defence line converging on him. It was... We'll get in the video session, I'm sure J-Rod will say that's exactly where I wanted it. But the great result for the Devils is Hambry. He tries to fend away from Roberts, and Roberts makes the tackle. Just lingering a little long in there too, and penalty's huge here. Mitchy Porter can kick him from everywhere. And now there's one.
Oh, against.
And what are they going to say? They're not played correct. I'll tell you what. If you're Pete McLeod,
you'd be blowing up deluxe.
And you see a penalty like that, it's one of those ones we always say every time we see them blown, that how hard is it to play the ball properly, but at the same time,
Reece Hambry as
with
well.
The game poised where it's at, is it a slightly pedantic penalty to be calling there, Johnny? It didn't look too that to play the ball for me. It wasn't one of those terrible ones where you go, well, that was a mess. Big call.
Huge call here, but for someone for Reece Hambry's experience, he should really know better.
Especially he copped a bit of a spray there from Paulie Roberts, I think, as well, and might have just distracted him just that little bit to not quite get the play the ball he's after, as Holdsworth off his right foot.
Looks like he's coming to work in a bit of 7 here, Holdsworth.
I think he's playing in a fullback, and wouldn't that be something to see if you move the number 9 to fullback and he comes up with a play that gets him over the line in this one? That would really show his value as Boyle at first receiver, crabbing across, and flat ball there for Cross, who was also just drifting sideways slightly. Last tackle, Boyle at dummy half. You can expect it to go into that corner, and now Manton looking to make something happen. Mitch Porter. And that was the last tackle on a turnover, not the option Nathan Feen would have been looking for. You back Brad Manton often if you can get him one-on-one, but Mitchy Porter, as good a defensive centre as you'll see, and a bit of a meek end to that set.
You back Manton 9 times out of 10, but on the last tackle when you're 10 metres out, the scores are level, 8 minutes remaining. A kick into the in goal was going to be the right option, not to run the ball.
Dylan Laurie now bringing it away. And Laurie, that's a good run. They're trying to get on the back of it here. 8 minutes left. And if you remember last year, Johnny, it was a game at Gibbo Park, the rule in Collegians, and that turned out to be what I think for myself was the best game, regular season game. I wonder if you give it to Mitch Porter here from halfway and let him have a crack.
Well, he's not coming in from out in that right-hand centre position.
Down.
But they're going to find touch here. It's going to be a good touch finder, and they're going to have 6 tackles up their sleeve, probably 20, 30 metres out.
There's 8 minutes left, so I think if we were down to sort of 2 minutes or so, you might take the gamble, but 8 minutes left, they'll back themselves to get a bit more than the 2, particularly from halfway. That'd be a monster kick from where they were, so probably the right call. Getting a bit excited up here in the commentary position. Dylan Laurie up towards the 20.
Discipline here, Mitch. Discipline from both sides.
Collies can't give away a penalty. They simply can't here. As we said, Mitchy Porter can kick him from everywhere. He'll back himself anywhere on the park here to kick what could well be the winning goal if he gets the shot at it. Some numbers on the right. Rodriguez, second man there for Porter. Porter off his right foot. Porter still going. The skipper, and I think he's got there. No, again, just short. The ball looks on the line. Mitch Porter certainly thinks so, but he won't play it. The skipper from Warrialda, Noel Cleo country, and that ball's been knocked backwards is the call there on Hanbury. I think whether you agree with that one will go on the colours you've got on your chest, and a knock on there, and now Wood comes away with it.
Well, good effort there from Collies defensively, and a great one-on-one strip there from Wood. What a game changer that is.
Rigg, he nearly spilt that one, Brody Rigg. 7 minutes left, 10 all the score. We expected a thriller, Johnny, and that's what we're getting.
Well, we sure are. I tell you what, you paid your $7 at the gate. You're getting your money's worth. If you're sitting at home listening to us two babble on about
there
this.
for Manton on that side. Sorry to cut you off, Johnny. It was some good ball playing there from the 11. Jack Cross. And now Duffy. Duffy breaks away from 3 defenders there. They come again and bring him to ground. That'll be the last tackle, and your heart's got to be just slightly in your mouth if you're any of the back 3 here for the Devils. And Boyle, he gets the roll he wants on that one. It pulls up just shy of the touchline, and Boyle makes the tackle, and that was a good kick. I think he'd look to his men on the right here and feel a little bit let down by that chase there. They just ambled through, and now Boyle makes back-to-back tackles as well, but probably let down by his chase on this side.
Yeah, once he kicked it, he chased the ball, and he looked to his right and even put his arm up. And boy, you could just see the words out of his mouth, where the something are you? Because the chase needed to be better at this time of the game.
Stanford off his left foot. 6 minutes left. Still plenty of time for either side that wants to take it by the scruffers. Green again from inside the 40. It's going to be hard to get the run on it that he wants for a 40-20, but it's in behind. And we can see the Collegians forwards here, they're really slow coming back on side here, really feeling the pinch. So a good kick from Green. You'd be tempted to try something from inside your own half, but a wise play there from Green. They're going to try to tackle their way to this and really grind this out.
When does the one-pointer come into play, Mitch?
Well, we know Zach Green for a fact can kick him from just about anywhere. If you get him into half, Mitch Porter as well.
Last year's VB Cup challenge, Zach Green kicked the winning field goal.
And on the other side of the coin, you'd back Paulie Roberts to have a crack, and of course Jarrah Boyle also the man, but we saw a couple of weeks ago with the Roosters against Melbourne, the decoy and going to another option. Boyle, will he pull up and have a crack at it? No, he's going to put this high. I think you think field goal, Johnny, the next chance you get now either side. We're inside 5 minutes, and I think now if either side does get a chance in the opposition half, you'll see someone try to snap one.
Yeah, I think that every time they're on that 5th tackle now, we're going to see them have an attempt to try and put the one-pointer over the crossbar. But the Collies, they're really standing up defensively here. They're going to try and keep Western Suburbs in their own area and not give them a chance for good field position to really pot that one-pointer.
Hanbury, Rodriguez, some space on that side. Dixon, he's got some space. There they go. So Mitch Porter, he's crabbing his way. He's got the arm free as well. Rodriguez, he juggles that one. Blay, he's up on the 40. Zach Green's in behind the play. It's the last tackle. Will he have a shot from here? They've gone the other way, and Rodriguez, he almost spills that, and it's taken a deflection. If they get the ball there, it'll be play on still the last. Accidental offside, the call.
Well, I think it's going to be called offside, and it's going to be a West
It's
feed.
an accidental offside. That's what they're going to say. Accidental offside. That was my thoughts on the run. That Rodriguez kick took a deflection and just hit a man. Took a deflection off a Collie's player into another one who was in front of him. So it's accidental offside.
Well, they're really soaking up the time here, aren't they? The referee hasn't called time off at the moment. 3.5 minutes remaining. It's going to give both sides at least one set of 6 here. Do you go the early field goal?
I think we're going to see a shot here for
Early?
sure. I think we're going to see a shot here.
Third tackle?
We see Zach Green can kick him from everywhere. Somewhere in this set, you think we're going to see one. I wonder, late in the season, teams practice their field goal sets often. Early in the season, not so much. So we'll see if the Devils can do it on a bit of muscle memory from last year. As we said, the Challenge Cup final between these two sides last season. Zach Green grabbed that one for his side with a field goal. That one was from about 40 out, if I remember correctly. And Pello in a bit of strife here. I want him to get up and play it. Blay.
Wouldn't it be something?
See Rodriguez, he's directing the guy Zach Green in behind the play as well, so they want his big man to get him near the post. Dylan Laurie, he's got the play the ball there.
He's set.
Well, Zach Green's just to the right of the ruck here. He's going to go for that field goal. He's got to knock that over from there, you would think. And he has nailed it. And he'll do that every day of the week with that much time on his hands. Zach Green's going to knock that one over. And you just saw there, I think, in the back play, Dylan Laurie gave
Jack Cross.
I think it was, no, in the back play back here, I think it was Zach Hicks. They just had a bit of a go back here, and Dylan Laurie, as he was running back on side, might have just looked accidentally, just collected him a little bit with the leg and thought it might be let go, but Jack Cross from the left side came in and he certainly saw it and just wanted to demonstrate with Dylan Laurie a little bit. 11-10 the score. Zach Green nailing that field goal, and Dylan Laurie's just been involved in a bit of a fracas there, but that was good work from the front row. You could see they were setting up with a field goal, and he just ran in, took the hit, found his knees, and a good quick play the ball, Walsh with the pass, and Zach Green wasn't the best strike we've seen him do, but I don't think he was trying to belt the cover off it. He was just trying to pilot that through the post, and he did so.
Took a little bit of a deflection going through as well to go between the uprights there.
But Dylan Laurie, if he's given away a penalty here, if it is a penalty, it should be back, you would think, where the collision occurred and not where the ball currently is. And he's been sent. Well, Dylan Laurie has been sent from the park.
They've awarded the point, so it's going to be a kick-off anyway?
Well, I'm not sure of the rules. I'm not the expert. If
No.
the penalties occurred back behind play, they hadn't had the restart yet, you'd think the penalty would occur back where the infringement occurred.
So it's still going to be a kick-off by the look of it.
Jared Boyle saying, how's it not a penalty? And I tend to agree with him. If you're going to send a bloke off, surely there's a penalty back where the infringement occurred.
Yeah, 2 minutes remaining, so a bit of a twist in
How
this.
does a player get sent off and not penalised?
Go on that one.
We could be wrong, Johnny. As we know, we're not the experts on the rules, but a strange one. But Dylan Laurie, the early shower, and that could attract some attention. Pello, he's up just shy of the 20, so
Some big
the
contact.
Devils, 11-10 the score, 1:30 to go. Blay, not a lot of adventure in this set from the Devils, and you wouldn't expect it, clinging to that 1 point lead with a minute 25 on the clock. Stanford. What a pelter of a game, Johnny.
Oh, it's been unreal, hasn't
We
it?
came here and said it to be exciting. I told you I was excited beforehand. I even took to Twitter just to express some of that excitement, and it's delivered this afternoon. What a game we've seen. And Rodriguez sends it down to Roberts. They're going to have a minute here, Collegians, to try and mount something.
Well, Rodriguez, we've wrapped him so much on closing out games. That one really should have gone over the sideline there and
He
soaked
might have
up
looked
the
for the
clock.
sideline. He has just kicked it down to Roberts, backing their defence. And Collegians, not a lot of guys calling for the ball just yet, looking for the play, and that's crossed, and it is gone forward. That'll do it. 41 seconds left in that pass, and I just think they'd expended every little bit of juice in the lemon there, Collies. They had the footy, but all standing a little bit flat, and I just don't think they could find those last little reserves there to mount something.
Nah, they squeezed all the energy out of them there. We see the clock slowly tick down. No one will be keen to pack this scrum. We said all week, Mitch, that this was going to be a real big game, and it has delivered here on Saturday on game day. 11-10, 1 point in the game. Tell you what, Collies, they're used to getting beat by a short margin at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they just not quite getting the bounce thereafter. And I've got to say, before we go off the call, that we will reserve judgment. Tyron Jordan, I'll back him to know the rules more than we do, Johnny. I'll certainly back him to know the rules more than we do on that. So
it's probably
I'm not ruling out that was the right. That may well have been the 100% right call. So we'll refer to that later on. But there it is, 11-10 the score. West Devils over Collegians in an absolute thriller here at Collegians Sports Centre. You get the feeling, Johnny, that won't be the last thriller we see between these two sides this season?
No, I'm sure we'll see him in the second half of the season. And over on our right-hand shoulder here is Western Suburbs home ground, so we'll definitely call that one towards the end of the season there, and then we're dead set. We're going to see them in semi-final football. Zach Green, the hero of today, last year's grand final winning 5-8, coming back to Western Suburbs for his first game in 2019, puts his side 1 point in front, and they remain undefeated now in the Illawarra competition.
Indeed they do. They'll perhaps stay at the top of the competition. We'll have to get the calculators out on some other results possibly, but that is the final margin. 11-10 the score. The Devils over Collegians in an absolute thriller. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mitch Jennings for Bar TV Sports. Join us next week. We'll see you out there somewhere in the Illawarra.